Hey, how y'all doing? It's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I wanted to do a video showing you guys Ubuntu 17.10. They just released this a couple of days ago. It's the latest release of Ubuntu. It's one of those what I call in-between releases because it's not supported for a long amount of time. I think it's supported for about 9 months, but it's good to see the new features in play. So I normally install this in like a VM just to test it, just see what's going on with all the new features, and so I'm gonna do that today with you guys. So let's go to their website. I already have it pulled up, but anyway, just to show you guys how to download, you just hit download. Let's go to the desktop. Okay, and the first, just make sure you click on the right one, because 16.4 is still the long-term release. Like I said, it's they give updates for like 5 years or so. And the one we want is the Ubuntu 17.10 right here, release, which is the latest version. It only has like 9 months of security updates that it's maintained for up to 9 months. So anyway, you just click the download button, or I like to use the torrent files, because especially when it's like a new release, a lot of people downloading it and they have a lot of servers sharing the ISO, so it's really quick, especially when with all this fast internet everybody has this. It downloads in a matter of minutes, like a 1.5 gig ISO. It downloads in like less than 10 minutes. I know on my machine it did. So that's how you download it, and you just save it in a good location, wherever you know. And I'm gonna do the install on a VM, so let me show you guys how to set that up so we can get it going. Alright, so I already have VirtualBox open, so let's go through the steps of setting it up. So we just click new, and we name the VM, so I just name it Ubuntu 17. Next, I like to give it 2 gigs so we can have like a good experience of the desktop. That's good. And we can create the hard disk. I always use the VirtualBox disk image. You can use the virtual hard disk or the virtual machine disk. I don't know what the virtual hard disk is for. I can't remember, and I know it's for other types of programs that run VMs, or that runs VMs like a manager or whatever. I know VMDK is the file type for VMware. I know that for a fact. I don't know what VHD. It may be Microsoft. I don't know, but you can create all the different file types in VirtualBox for the other VM machines, and you can move VMs back and forth. If that makes sense. So just click next. I always select dynamically allocated, because the hard disk, or the file that it creates for the hard disk, it grows as you install applications and move stuff to it. So it'll be only the size of the actual files that are in the VM, and nothing more, nothing less, up to the point, the max amount that you set the drive for. And a fixed size, it'll create a whole fixed hard drive size. It'll allocate a certain amount of space on your hard drive. So just keep that in mind. Dynamically allocated, it grows up to that amount. It doesn't start at the full amount. And the fixed, it starts at the full amount of however much you set on the drive. So next, so I'm gonna I always put like 30 gigs is cool. Just just for the hell of it, just to make sure it's got enough space. I'm pretty sure it's only going to use about 9 gigs of space at the most. That's with everything installed, and if I started adding applications, I'm not going to put any files on the VM, but you know, about 9. It's probably less than that for the actual full operating system once it's installed, but just give it 30 just for the hell of it. Like I said, it's dynamically allocated, so it's going to stay the size of the files. It's not going to take up more room on your drive. So we're basically done with the initial setup, and let's go into the settings so we can finish configuring it. So we already set the base memory. It was 2 gigs. Processor, I'm gonna give it 2 just to make it run a little better, so we just, you know, get a good experience. Video memory, I always change that to 128. It's just so we can get good display. Yeah, we don't need to worry about any of that. Now this is where we will add the ISO. So you basically, when you create a virtual box or a VM, it'll automatically create an ID controller for like a CD drive, so to speak. It's a virtual CD drive. So all you have to do is select the ISO, and it'll act as though you put like a CD drive in a physical machine. So it's attached to the computer, so it'll boot directly to that, especially since it's a blank drive. It'll go through, like up here, it goes through the boot order, but you know, you don't have to worry about it. It's nothing on the hard drive, so it's obviously going to pick up the optical drive first. Cool. So I'm gonna just leave, this is one of the options I look at. I'm gonna just leave the network adapter to NAT, which is what network address translate, whatever. But anyway, that'll basically run your internet connection through your host machine. So just so you can get a understanding of what that is. And also bridge adapter, that's another one. If you want to give it like its own wireless cord or something, you can give the VM its own wireless cord. It'll pull, you know, it'll use that wireless cord and pull its own IP address. You can do that under bridge adapters. Well, we're gonna just do NAT for this demonstration. So, and that's pretty much all I have to mess with to set it up. If you guys want to learn more about VirtualBox, I'm planning on doing a video eventually on VirtualBox to show you some of all the little small features in here and add-ons and all that stuff you can do with it. But this is not a video for that. I just wanted to show you the base setup of it, and so good to go on that. So we're gonna start up this virtual machine. Alright, so cool. Just gonna boot up in the CD, and we'll go through the installation process so you guys can follow along. The installation process is pretty quick, but I'm gonna pause the video once we get to that point where it's doing the installation and come back so we can just to keep the video kind of short. So there we go, we got it booted up. I'm gonna just make it big so you guys can see. Yeah, and as soon as it boots up, it automatically goes to the install screen. So you just hit install you want to, and we can go through the whole process. Alright, so I'm gonna just install the updates after it's finished, but I'm gonna install the third-party software for like graphics and Wi-Fi hardware or whatever, which not much is gonna install because I don't have any hardware hooked up to it. So continue, but you can install the updates as you're installing, because when these releases come out, you know, updates will come out after that to fix certain bugs or whatever that pops up. So you can install them when you install it. So let's see, this computer is currently, yeah, it doesn't have an operating system, so it's gonna bring up the this is the partition manager, so to speak. It'll ask you what you want to do with your hard drive, and basically what we want to do is erase the disk and install Ubuntu. This is, you know, like a very important tab if you're installing this on like a physical machine. You have to go down here to manually, like if you're doing a dual boot or something, you have to go down to manual and partition the drives that way. Oh, and I want to talk about these other things. You can encrypt the installation, you know, for security, or you can also set up LVM, and you should be, I guess they took that feature out, but you used to be able to encrypt and use LVM. I know that's what I'm doing on my hard drive for my host machine. I have LVM set up and encryption set up on top of it. So I guess they took that feature out where you can have both, but it is what it is. You can encrypt it, and then LVM stands for Logical Volume Management. It allows you to easily partition and resize partitions, and that's why I use it on my laptop, just so you can understand exactly what you could do with that. For instance, my root directory is on a different partition than my home directory, and so my boot directory, or not boot directory, my root directory actually hit the max amount of space, and so I was able to shrink my home directory and add that extra space to the root directory, so it can you know, it'll just have extra space. But you can do that with those logical drives, logical volumes, so to speak. It just makes it easier when you resize it. But anyway, on to the next one. So you just basically hit install now and go through the process. And I apologize if I'm over explaining some of this stuff, but I just want people to understand what exactly some of these options are asking you for, if you don't know, because I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to cater my videos to new Linux users and people that's coming over from Windows, just so they can have a clear understanding of what these options are when they're going through installations and all that. So anyway, next thing is your location. I'm LA, so continue, you can select Pacific or type it in, and it'll pull it up. So team, alright, and it's the keyboard layout. It's English if you're in the US, and you select whatever. You can just start typing on your keyboard and it'll automatically detect it. So team, alright, and this is where we set up the account. So we just name it Josh, and I'm gonna change the computer name to UB17. That'll work. That's the computer name, and got my account, my login account. Good to go. Alright, require my password on login, and yes, I want that to happen. I don't like when my computer logs in automatically, but that's personal preference. You know, login automatically is kind of unsecure, so if your hard drive is not encrypted with a key, your computer will just boot up and it'll log right into the home screen. I mean, I don't like doing that. Oh, this is where you can encrypt the home directory. I forgot you could do that here. But that's good. You can encrypt all your files on the home directory. So anyway, continue. And it should start the installation at this point. This was the last step. Yep. So I'm gonna pause the video for a couple minutes and be back with you shortly. Okay, great, we are back. The installation has completed, so I'm going to just click the restart button. That's what'll pop up at the end of it. And we'll also ask you to remove the installation media, which VirtualBox will do automatically for you, meaning the ISO. Let's just wait until this thing restarts. Okay, so the system is booted up, and so now it's time to log in. I'm gonna log in and do some quick updates right fast. I'll show you guys how to do that. Like I said, I always like to do my updates manually, so I never like it to be done during the installation. It's just my personal preference, just so I can kind of see what's being installed. So the way you check for updates is sudo apt update. And if you guys didn't know, but a couple years back they replaced apt-get with apt, so you can use that to update your systems now. That package should be there. apt-get is still there, but apt you can just use apt now. So anyway, it's sudo apt updates. We're gonna run that. It's gonna check the repositories for any updates. I downloaded this ISO a couple days ago, like right when it came out, and so it shouldn't be many updates. Okay, it's showing 32. So, and I just want to show you guys this command. If you guys don't know apt or apt-get, you can look at the man page. It'll give you all the options of stuff you can the options you can use with the command in order to just view certain stuff with upgrades and updates and all that. But this is a command I like to run or whatever every now and then, because after you run sudo apt update, it finds the packages for you. Like, it shows that you have 32 packages to be updated, but it doesn't show you what they are. So I always run this command, well, not all the time, but sometimes I run this command just to see those packages if I want to, just to see what's being updated, especially once I get my system to where I like it. I always like to check my updates, just to see what's being upgraded and see if like correct configuration files may be overwritten with changes. Most of the times it warns you on stuff like that, but still, some configuration files it doesn't warn you and it just overwrites it. Especially like on my server. So anyway, I run that command a lot of times just to look at the packages, just to make sure. And then next command is the actual upgrade, which actually installs all the updates that are needed. So it'll run through, it'll list them all here, which you could look at it this way, you know, and just hit no if you're unsure of what this is, and then go back. But I just always, like I said, I always like to run that command so I could look at it beforehand, before I get to this point. And then once I'm at this point, I know I want to install it, so I just put yes or Y for yes and press enter. And actually, a lot of times, I'm gonna just show you this. A lot of times I actually don't run it that way. I run it like this, especially on my server. So sudo apt update, and I'll run the update command. And then once I check and see what packages are in there or whatever, you know, whatever I'm looking for, then I'll run the command like this, actually, -y. I just put a -y in there. That way it'll bypass that yes or no. Because I know I already checked the packages, I already know what it is, so just go down and start the update for me without asking me, are you sure you want to upgrade these packages? So just showing you, like I said, you can look at the man page for apt and see the options you can use to, you know, change things or whatever. Well, run the commands, like different ways to run the commands and what those options mean. So, let me wait until this update. I'm gonna restart the computer after this update because for some reason I was having issues with typing. It wasn't recognizing my keyboard, so I'm not sure. And it was after I did these updates, like the last time I was just going through installing this just to test it before I actually did the video. I was having issues with it, so I'm gonna do a reboot after these updates just so I won't have those keyboard issues that I was having. So while we're waiting on that to reboot, I just wanted to talk about some of the updates with this distribution of Ubuntu, or release of Ubuntu. One of the main things is the main features that they changed. Ubuntu used to have what they call the Unity desktop. They created that desktop. I can't remember when they came out with it. I think it was Ubuntu 12, 14, somewhere in there. Well, they tried to create their own desktop because before that they were using GNOME, which is what they're using now. They're going back to it. So GNOME was the default desktop before, and they went to Unity because they wanted to create their own desktop. And also GNOME, was starting to get older and wasn't really going anywhere further. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it has picked up in the last couple of years or whatever. GNOME, especially when they released GNOME 3. Because they were at GNOME 2 for a long time. I don't know if you used Ubuntu back in the day, but GNOME they used the same desktop, over and over. They made a couple of updates here and there, but not an overhaul like they did for GNOME 3. So anyway, the Unity project failed, which it was made by Canonical, the people that run Ubuntu. That's the company, like parent company, and they were trying to incorporate that with phones and tablets and stuff. Basically all that stuff failed. People didn't like the desktop, and a lot of people started going away from Ubuntu, which, that's when I went away from Ubuntu, because I didn't like the Unity desktop. I still liked GNOME, even though it didn't have much updates, but I still liked GNOME, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm glad that Ubuntu has went back to the GNOME desktop, especially since it's a whole lot better. And I'll show you how better it is once we log into it again and go through some of those features of it. And another thing I wanted to talk about was, and while I'm talking, let me log in. I know you're sitting here like, okay, move on, buddy. Yeah, sorry about that. But one other thing I wanted to talk about though, Wayland is a new display server, so it's supposed to be a more modern Windows system for Linux and Unix, but of course with everything that's new, it tends to be bugs, especially with like applications that haven't been updated yet and all that stuff. So some applications that haven't received any updates or patches to incorporate with the Wayland display server, it tends to have bugs and stuff like that. So they have the option to go into XOR. You can go back to XOR, which was the original, or what they used previously. XOR has been around for years, and it's been a display manager for a long time. But Wayland, they basically started from scratch and built a whole new display manager or display server, which took over for XOR. So like I said, I just wanted to point it out. That's one of the features. Some people are happy about that. I just wanted to point it out. So updates are done. So now I want to get into a little bit of Gnome and just show you guys what they changed as well. And what I'm gonna do is go into the settings. Let's see, we can get to the settings here. The little tools right there, you just click on that. That'll get into the main settings of Gnome. So let's make this thing full screen so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay, like that, big like that. So anyway, so these are the Wi-Fi settings. You manage your Wi-Fi adapters, all that stuff. Bluetooth settings. And I heard that Ubuntu was it's going to be doing more support for Bluetooth like speakers and stuff like that. So you would always have to. Previously, you would have to go in and set the what do you call it? The controller, or change the controller. From what I remember, I never really used Bluetooth stuff, but yeah, you have to switch the output. That's what it's called. In order for it to change over to the Bluetooth speaker. When you're playing something, like if you plug it up and you want to play it, most stuff when you plug it up right away, it'll automatically do that. It'll automatically change to the new, to the new output or whatever that's created. Like with the headphones and all that stuff, similar to how the headphones work. Well, with the Bluetooth, they're trying to make changes to better support that. So that's another good feature they came out with, or they're working on. So rest of the settings, you can modify your background, change your background, put your pictures up there, whatever. Just show you, pretty cool. Yeah, I always like that wood, man, because you can have a dark theme with this, and actually this clear crap you can't really see on top of it. So let's change it to something like this. That'll work. Alright. That's a pretty nice background. So yeah, that's a good thing. The dock settings, you can go in and change the dock where it automatically hides. See how you move something over there, it hides, comes back out. You can change the size of it. And I'm just showing you, some basic features that you can change. So notification game. But anyway, that controls what all you want to show in your notifications. Like if you got your email set up, it'll pop up there saying, okay, you got 3 emails in, whatever. Searching, this is similar to like the indexing on like Windows 10 or something like that. Basically helps with the searching of your desktop, and also you can control this up here as well. So typing in, you can type in whatever you need, and you can turn it off where you don't want it to index certain stuff. Like if you don't want it to index your calendars or your passwords, you can basically turn that off. Or your terminal history, you can turn that off. But otherwise, when you type in that search up here, it'll start searching your pictures and all that. Basically index all that stuff. So anyway, that's the settings for that. Then the regional settings, language, all that good stuff. These are universal settings. It's certain stuff like mouse settings, the visual. You could turn visual alerts on, like if you lack hearing, or your hearing is bad or whatever, or maybe you want to turn your volume all the way down. Well, whenever your volume hits or whatever, or it makes a sound like when you type something in the command line, you hit backspace or something, it'll make that sound normally. Well, it'll like shake the screen or something. It's just a visual alert. and you can change the how you see stuff on there. There's another little port. It's online accounts. You can add your accounts to it. Connect to your data on cloud services, all that type of stuff. So Google accounts. I'm not sure what type of cloud features they have on Facebook, but it's there. Obviously OneDrive, Microsoft, and a few other ones. And I believe they have some more down here, but you can connect to Microsoft Exchange and media servers. If you got a media server, you can connect to it. And IMAP, and you can also connect to the domain. So that's pretty cool. Privacy settings. I really like this tab because you can change your location settings. I don't like myself to be tracked or my computer to be tracked. I mean, I'm not doing anything illegal, but I still don't like my stuff to be tracked on the system. Certain things, you can change in here, like the reporting if you don't want them to send. If you don't want to send Ubuntu any issues or bugs that may pop up on your system or errors that pop up, you don't have to. And then also like your trash, you can have it automatically delete empty trash or purge temporary files if you need to. That's a good feature, so internet files and stuff, temporary files, it'll delete it for you just so you can save space. Pretty good. I like that feature. So yeah, you can set up file sharing directly from here. Set up a share folder, pretty sure. I'm not sure if it's the same as Samba. I like Samba, so I'll set up a Samba server if I really need to share some files and just share a folder that way. I don't know, it's just more options, I guess. I never really worked with the shared files like this, but I know it's a lot of options in Samba, and I'm very familiar with them, so familiar with the configuring it and everything. So I would just use Samba. That's just my personal preference, but his file sharing is there for you. And here's your sound. This is what I was talking about. Your outputs. You used to have to go in and automatically change the output to whatever you want, whichever one you want to use, but you don't have to now. Supposedly Bluetooth speakers or whatever, when you connect to them, they will automatically switch the output over to that. So pretty cool thing. And this, power settings, it's pretty much the same as the last. Network settings, you set up VPNs and all that stuff. That's not nothing new, that was there before. Printer settings, keyboard. I'm not gonna go through all this stuff. You can go in and mess with it. It's display settings right here. Remove media. That's been around. Whenever you stick a CD in, it asks you what you want it to do, or you can tell it to open up a certain application. You can change all that options. Tablet mode, you can have it to where if you got a touchscreen with the stylus or whatever, you can write on it. Pretty cool. Color, I don't even really know what that's for, but whatever. And then this is the details of the system. So you can click on this, kind of like you go in Windows and look at the system. It's the same thing, for Ubuntu. It's just showing you your internal hardware, what version of GNOME you got, the graphics card or graphics. And this is a virtual machine, 2 gigs of memory, all that good stuff. You can go in here and change the date settings. Like I always, I like to have 24 hours. I thought it was more settings. Oh, that was another thing. I was going to show you guys something with GNOME, which you should know from the last one. I mean, from the last version. Most people, or most videos, they tell you what programs they recommend you to install. So let me show you that right fast. Let me install one program that I think you should do, especially with the GNOME desktop. So, and it's basically the GNOME tweak tool. I'm not sure what it's called. I thought it was tweaks, or let's see if we can find it. Using apt or apt. So sudo apt install. It should be GNOME dash GNOME dash. Let's see if it brings it up under tweaks. Yeah, tweak tool. That's one thing I recommend you guys get if you're gonna keep GNOME. So you want to install that, and this will allow you to make some more changes to the GNOME desktop, which is pretty cool. I'll show you guys right fast. So let's get on up in here and open it up. I think it installs it under utilities. Yeah, that's it. Tweaks. Okay, so this is basically another settings menu, but it has more options. This is where you can set themes. You can change the animation on. You know, you can turn a global dark theme on, which is cool. Desktop icons. You can set your icons. You can turn the home button on, network button. Turn it off. You change your. You can also change your backgrounds and all that stuff here too. And this is where you add your extensions. So I'll do another video showing you guys extensions, but I mean, they're easy to install. So you can go to gnomelook.org and find extensions for it. You can change your fonts, keyboard, mouse settings again, power settings again, stored up applications. I really like this I use because I like to always have my terminal open up as soon as I log into the system. So as soon as I come up, I'll have the terminal pop up, and I also have like email pop up, and my internet possibly opens up, which is, I mean, it's just cool for me. You can custom make whatever. You can have it run a script as soon as you open up, you know, whatever. Top bar, you can change the top bar. And this is where I was talking about the other options you can add to it. As far as like the clock, I like to see the date and the seconds or whatever. That's just me. You don't have to. That's just me. And this is, oh yeah, this is the hot corner. So they got the hot corner. You can, maybe it don't work on here. But I know in one of the gnomes you could just hit the mouse up there and it'll zoom out and show you all the applications that open. So maybe that's not working right now, so I guess we'll see. These are just some other options with the windows. And then also I wanted to show you guys, this was another thing that they changed. If you used any of the previous Ubuntu's, they had the window buttons. I used to have them on the left hand side, and a lot of people didn't like that. They always wanted it back on the right. So they finally put that option in here to put them on the left or the right. I don't know why it's not working right now, but there you go. They're there. That's weird. Oh, there we go. It worked that time. So yeah, they used to be over here like that. That's the way they were in the older versions of Ubuntu. No matter what desktop. Well, anyway, they made it so you can move those buttons to the right now. So, and this is another option. Workspaces. You can set up dynamic workstations and stations, and basically what that is it'll create a workspace based on the amount of applications you have open. So if you open up something on this desktop and then you go down to another desktop and let's say open up files or something, and let's say you want to work on another desktop, it'll create one as you go. Because if you see right now, you have 3. But if I open up an application on here and go down, now I have 4. So it creates them dynamically. That's all I wanted to show you. And as you close applications, it'll get rid of them. So like right now, it's back to 3. Good to go. So just wanted to show you guys that. And you can also set it statically where it only creates a certain number you want. So anyway, that was enough on the tweak tools. And also I wanted to show you the software center on here. It's the same as before. Basically like an app center, like on your phone. You can go through, it's categorized, look at all your applications. You can install it this way, or you can install it via the command line, whatever, however you want to do it. Just wanted to show you guys. But this shows you all the installed applications that you have on there, and that's what they all have installed. They have OpenOffice, well, LibreOffice, and you know, it's a lot of stuff they figured, you know, most users would need right off the bat. So all that stuff is installed. So you can go through and install, test out applications as you see fit. Good to go on that. And one other thing I wanted to show you, I'm gonna log out of here, just so I can show you how you can get back to XOR, because I didn't explain that a few minutes ago. So let's log out. Good to go. So like I was saying, you might have some compatibility issues when it comes to, you know, certain applications that you install. It may not, you know, work right. So in order to go back to XOR, you just click on your username, and then there's a wheel right there. So you click on that, you can go back to XOR, and then just sign in normal, and it would use that display server versus Wayland. So it's good to go. So that's all I wanted to show you guys, man. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, I tried to be as informative as possible. Because I'm trying to cater these videos to new users coming over from Windows, trying out Linux for the first time. You know, like I say, I always recommend people install them in virtual machines. That way you can test it out. You can learn how the system works. You can learn how the installation works, especially when you're working with like difficult Linux distributions. You want to try it in a VM first, and then, you know, at least go through the installation. You know, you'll have some fake hardware to, you know, mess around with, so you don't mess up your system once you know what you're doing when you want to wipe the machine and install. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep doing these videos. I've been lacking lately because I just got a job, and I've been living out of state in a hotel, working for a company. So I'm basically living and eating out of a hotel. So it's kind of hard to do these videos. I'm using the internet at the hotel, of course, through a VPN. But you know, just wanted to, you know, tell you that I'm trying to keep this thing going. So just let me know if you got any questions. You know, just leave comments down below in the comment section. Also like, share, subscribe, and keep it techie.